Yeah, technically we're kind of doing a rate the waifu in this. I know, feels like it's been forever since we did the last one. And to be honest, I don't necessarily know why, because every single video has done decently well. But when it comes down to things, at least for the most part, but when it comes down to things, I was, I guess, suggested to do it, mainly because of two people and their responses, and kind of how more people kind of come to this channel because of the Skullgirls news and all the changes that kind of happened. So why not necessarily just give the people what they would like to see, or at least this is what I hope they would like to see, honestly. And originally I was going to go through the entire roster of female characters, but that recording ended up becoming 23 minutes. And I'm not about to sit my giant horsecock black self down on my own bed for like hours at a time trying to slave away and get this thing done. I said no, instead we'll just chop it to a top 5, because at least that will be a little bit more better for me. Also, what am I gonna say from majority of the characters? Robo Fortune, I can't do anything with her because she just got a fat metal ass that's flat as hell and just heavy like this. Ow! And essentially just gonna cause me pain every time I try to slap that shit. No, there's nothing really I can say. Then what? I got literally like Eliza, who's probably gonna pop out her skin when I'm trying to smash, and I got no time for that. She gonna be hands folded looking at me in her skeleton form while I'm trying to clap her booty, and she gonna be like, oh, so you think you actually clapping now? Yes, I thought I was, but then now you came out that form, I don't want to clap no more. Right? Like, that's disgusting. I don't want to see veins when I'm clapping. I'm trying to just see bouncing ass flesh. Not this type of way, though. No, get this shit away. And then double, automatic 0 out of 10. The hell am I supposed to do with double? We already know that, yes, she might look good in this nun form, but we know what disgusting piece of shit is behind that. Hell, she got muscle, mass, flesh, and all that shit moving and whatever. Hell, maybe her veins and maybe her organs are being rearranged in the worst possible way. Maybe a little scat is flying somewhere in that. I don't want to put my penis anywhere near that. So no, I'm absolutely good. Point is, I'm not going through the whole entire list of damn characters. We're going through some of them, which is 5. And when it comes down to things, we're going to be just talking about the top ones I like. And that's going to be essentially it. You don't like it? Oh freaking well. Also, it's been like a long ass time since we did one of Skullgirls too, which we did one a long time ago. But it is what it is when it comes down to things. But before we actually get into the actual list though, let's go ahead and just give an honorable mention to Black Dahlia, because she's just a tall glass of guns blazing hotness. Can we just be honest with ourselves? Because I'm not necessarily gonna lie, when I saw Black Dahlia for the first time and we just see her idle animation, just how she just kind of have her chest bouncing a little bit, I'm not gonna necessarily hold you, kinda is nice, kinda is good, you know, even though her whole body is kind of jacked up on the inside. And behind that mask, who necessarily knows what her actual face would look like. But when it comes down to things, as long as she keep the mask on like Melina, we will be having a good ass time, honestly. Yes, also she's crazy and she will probably blow my brains out, but hey, at least I got to clap before I die. At least that be the case. But anyway, so we go to number 5, and I'm gonna just say Cerebella, honestly. Cerebella is kind of okay, you know. She ain't all that. Right, like I would say she's probably one of the more characters I do not care for story-wise, because she seems a bit bland in my personal opinion. Like, she's like the circus girl who honestly had her parents to fall off a trapeze, and now she's taken in by a rich family, which actually that sounds just like Batman. But when it comes down to things, she's just not necessarily, you know, my cup of tea automatically. Outside of her body and design, she's fine, right? And I don't necessarily hate anything about her design. I love her design, honestly. She seems really good for what it is. But as a character, I kind of don't care. And hell, even as a character, just as playing the game, I still don't care. Because I just don't necessarily like how she fights, personally. And her forward dash is a bit weird, because she doesn't necessarily have like a dash that's traditional, right? Usually when you dash with a character, they usually be like, oh, I'm gonna run to the person I'm fighting, I'm going to like maybe do some kind of, I don't know, trick or something to get there quicker or something, you know. But she kind of hops over there, and I don't like how her animation is when it comes to it, right? And there's nothing wrong with the animation itself, it's just I don't like it and use it into an actual fight. So I would have to say Cerebella's like a 5 though. in my personal opinion. Though I do know one thing though, when those circuses be happening, when she be at them events, I know some kids be trying to hug up on her just so they can get a feel of them titties, which is some bullshit because it should be me. But anyway, fourth one is gonna be Valentine. I'll just be straight up honest with you. She's a sexy nurse lady with the most badass movesets of all time. Not gonna lie, she literally has you on the, you know, operating table, and then she literally has one where it's like your damn heartbeat and it just goes to zero real damn quick. She's just damn good, honestly. She got some fire moves. The only thing that's annoying about her is sometimes when I play her, I be hitting the dosage button way too many and changing dosages on what the hell I'm doing. And I don't even know what that move is for, honestly, still, right? But overall, when it comes to character, I do like her. I feel like she is somewhat of an anti-hero, but not really a hero character, right? Because she's obviously doing this for her own needs, but she's still following orders from certain people. But at the end of the day, it kind of is what it is when it comes to Valentine. She's a sexy nurse lady with the biggest sex appeal in the entire game, or at least maybe like the second best sex appeal to the entire game. And honestly, this is one of the characters that I feel like a lot of casual people would just be like, oh yeah, I'm down for Valentine. This is the one. This is the one, right? So I wouldn't be necessarily too surprised, honestly. So if I were to give her a rating and I had to go back to Cerebella, I'll give Cerebella like a 6, but I'll give Valentine like an 8, right? So that's good. That's good enough for them. Also, the way that one animation of that thermostat basically popping between her chest, it's the same way my nut is gonna pop between her tits. Number 3, I'm going to say Ophelia on this one. I know, right? What? It's not number 2 or 1. You're an asshole. And to that I say, F you. Go pay me then. But when it comes down to things, I think Ophelia's okay. Right? Without any of the comic book stuff or without any of the mobile game lore that you don't know, if you're just playing base Skullgirls, don't know anything extra when it comes down to things, you'll be thinking this girl's pretty much the amnesia girl and she's just thick as hell and that's about it, right? Just trying to save a friend from some type of thing. That's all we really know. And don't get me wrong, I like Ophelia, I really do. She's the thickest girl, honestly, in the game. I will say that much. But when it comes down to things, there's not really anything I would say that's certainly attaching me to her in that deep of a way. I don't think there's anything that's really attaching me to her in that big of a way like maybe other people do, right? Like, she got a fat ass. That's like the biggest thing and takeaway when it comes to her. And don't get me wrong, her and Samson are a really good team and I absolutely like it, right? But there's still, again, not really much for me in the game itself really like attaching me to her outside of her looks and maybe somewhat of how she played. But outside of that, that's really about it for me. I'll give her like an 8 as well, but there's not really much for me to really add to this cup of tea that she has here. Also, there is one thing I guess I could say, is that if you were to get some Ophelia, how would that work? Because I said this before, but how would that really work? Because Samson is just going to be on top of her head, just trying his best to ignore what's going on, but you're trying to get cheeks. He's gonna probably punch you in the damn face while you're trying to get some. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't think Samson's just gonna sit down and just like, yeah, go ahead, Ophelia, get your ass clapped real quick. I highly doubt that, right? Granted, Samson do be trying to do some naughty things with Ophelia as well, but it is what it is, at least out of canon. But that's just how it is. Anyway, number 2, and this kind of goes into the next character, Squigly. I actually do like Squigly a lot more than Ophelia, just because the story is just nice, right? She literally got her brains blown out, right, by the person of Black Dahlia, who essentially was sending them out of the deities on some nonsense because they wanted the skull heart because it was gifted to their family. And when it comes down to things, she wants revenge for what the hell happens, essentially, right? And that's perfectly fine. That's honestly way more cooler than what Ophelia is going through, if I'm being honest with you. And you understand her struggle and everything about that. Even as a dead corpse, you know, she still wants to whoop ass with Leviathan, and that's kind of badass, honestly. What's not to like about Squigly? She's refined, she got a bit of sass, and she also got ass. We know she got ass in that damn dress, 100%. Like, it ain't gonna necessarily even be a whole type of capping situation right here. Like, this is one of the damn dead chicks in fiction. This is definitely one of the corpses I would like to smash, which is a wild ass sentence to kind of say, but this ain't no other corpse out there that is like really damn good. Well, maybe Zombina and Chi-Chi. And that one Jiangxi from Interspecies Reviewer. Okay, so this is a bunch of dead chicks that's kind of fine in anime and fiction and stuff like that. But still, nonetheless, I'm pretty sure she got a fat ass under that dress. And also, if Leviathan tried to come through with some nonsense talking about some, how dare you lay your hands on my lady? And I'm like, well, bitch, let's not fool around here. You live inside her head, so you're already in one hole. Technically two, so let's get that clear. Number two, don't act like you didn't go ahead and play with her ass that one damn time. We all saw the animation of where you just had some shades on while you're trying to penetrate her ass. But anyway, Squigly is really damn good. I'll give her a 9 out of 10. And I think you already know who's my number 1 pick is going to be. The straight up 10 out of 10. It's going to be Annie. There is no discussion, no debate. I don't want to hear any type of nonsense excuse that you might potentially have. Unless you're talking about maybe Marie. Because Marie is kind of cute too, right? Like I would definitely like to blow, well I would say blow her back out. But her back is kind of already blown out, honestly. Unless I'm going to, you know, maybe hit the climax. And then when she hits the climax as well, her back decides to catch fire on me, and then I end up dying after just clapping cheeks, which, that's kind of sad, but at the end of the day, it would still be worth it. But anyway, Annie at the end of the day is by far the character I like the most. She's my main, she's honestly a straightforward fighter, and when it comes to things, she's also just really good with, you know, cheering people on from her show, right? That's kind of like her whole thing. Yes, she might be just an eternal lolly at the end of the day, which I have absolutely no problems with. But still, nonetheless, you know, she is the type of person that might try to do things on her own, but she encourages people to do things with other people and try to succeed in the best way they possibly can, which is what she had to learn in her damn story mode, honestly. So it's kind of like she has to take a look at her own lessons from the stories that she told other people in her show. Which is kind of hilarious and kind of cool. And also, Annie has always been the coolest character in Skullgirls. I'm just gonna be true with you. And of all things, she also has one of the cutest parasites in the entire game as well. Not to mention, she's, again, with her age being, you know, old as shit, but her body still being young, you know, the amount of smashing will be nice to have. It will be really damn good. Probably be tight every single time. This is the definite point of get pregnant, get pregnant, get pregnant, because why not, honestly? Annie is just that fine chick. And also that great fighter, which I will always use and always have as my main, honestly, no matter what character comes through. Even Marie, whenever she drops, I'm still not necessarily going to change hands of who's my main, because Annie will always be that main, honestly. And also just the sassiness of this woman too, with certain things that she just does, is also just pinnacle and peak as well. So Annie is definitely my top number 1 pick of the Skullgirls characters. And that's essentially all I have for you. Because usually I break these lists down to be like, but number 0, but there's no number 0 this time, so we actually follow through. But anyway, hopefully you did enjoy for the people that did ask for this, so your wish has been granted. And hopefully you continue to enjoy the channel and what we honestly do, whether it's Skullgirls content or not Skullgirls content. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on your way out. Also follow me on the socials, and if you'd like to donate to the channel, Patreon is available as well. And until then, it's your boy Jay, sign off. Have a blessed day.